Hey, Scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and I finally have another finished album to show you. I seriously have like 8 or 10 albums that are so almost finished. They maybe have 1 or 2 layouts that are missing, and I'm just bound and determined to get those finished so that I can share them with you and get them on my shelf. So this album is actually the 12 by 12 version of a story that I told in an 8 by 8 album that I made for my sister and her family that I shared here on the channel a few months back. I'll link to that in the comments. And it is, in fact, a Disney day, one day at the Magic Kingdom in Florida. There's a couple other layouts in there from when we were visiting their home, but yeah. So I had somebody ask on a Facebook group the other day, like how many would be unreasonable for her to do 2 albums of, a 2-week cruise. And I was like, yeah, I did a whole album for one day, but I love it. And I hope that you will enjoy it. So I started with the not specific to any brand of theme park collections that Creative Memories has had the last couple of years. I think this one was from Magic Awaits. But I will admit to you that they're probably going to be all mixed up in here. If it's Sparks of Magic, which is current and still available, I pretty much know that. But the others are going to be Magic Awaits and Imagine, and even some Imagine That maybe if I use some of that. So I did use some of the cards, some of the stickers, and the embellishments just for a little title page. And to have enough light to make it easy to see, I'm afraid we might have a little bit of glare. Let's see. All right, so here's my title page, just a picture of us. I didn't do any journaling. Today's magical. So I talked a little bit here about going to visit my sister who lived in Orlando for many years and was always a part of our Disney trips. And then they were moving. And so we went down to see them. And while we were there visiting, I got thinking about her kids who, before they were 3, they could go to Disney for free. But once the kids turned 3, they hadn't gone to Disney, and they were moving away from Florida and wouldn't be able to go to Disney anymore. So I made a big splurge and I took us all to Disney for the day. This was during COVID, so there's going to be some masks, and it was super not crowded and fabulous. So this layout might have been a project recipe. This is using the Woodland Whimsy paper pack, and I don't remember what the name of the font that I used for this is. Darn it, I know you guys like me to remember that. I will try and find it and put it in the comments if anyone cares. Just ask me and I'll tell you what the fonts are. So these first few layouts are just of us at their house. Not a lot to journal about, just the kids, hanging out with the kids. This was a special layout from Croptoberfest of last year, designed by Noreen Smith, using the wavy trimmer. So that's a fun one. And then I talked about how I bought these little those little washcloths that you put in water and they turn into washcloths. Anyway, I bought those for the kids. I always like to take them something fun to do so that I can keep my status as the favorite auntie. So this is a page, if you follow me on Facebook or in my Facebook group, you might have seen this page. I was asking for title suggestions. Thanks to all of you who helped with that. Came up with Just Add Water because they're playing in a pool float. This is Out of This World paper. And I used the new circle cutter and made all these kind of concentric rings and just kind of overlap them to mimic the look of the floaty ring. And then my sweet niece, Allie, is super artistic, loves drawing, coloring, anything art. And so I took some of my scrapbook stuff and we did a couple little 8 by 8 scrapbook pages for her. And look at that smile. Isn't that how we feel when we finish an album project? I love this picture and I can't wait till she's old enough to let her mom send her out to see me for a couple weeks in the summer for Aunt Nicole camp for scrapbooking. And this was the old Scrap Happy paper from CM. It was perfect for a scrapbook page. Scrapbook page. There you go. All right, so Magic Kingdom, here we come. I journaled a little bit about how they hadn't been to Disney. We got up early and drove to the park. The kids didn't really know what they were getting into, right? Because they, Allie, the older one, had been and probably had some memories of it, but little Colton had never been to Disney, and the twins hadn't been in a couple of years. So this is a layout from a virtual crop, I think, that I did. Just kind of using triangles to make a chevron shape. I believe it might be Tammy McEwen who designed this concept. Hers is different and fancier, but for me, I just used the chevrons. And this is probably that Magic Awaits from last year. So my sister takes really great pictures of her kids with the portrait setting on her phone. So I had these cute pictures of her daughter and then just us in front of the castle. This paper is actually called Be Mine. It was a Valentine paper pack that CM had for many years, and it just stuck around for a long time. I think they ordered more than they thought they would need, but I love it. It works great for Disney. I don't even know what this is, a sticker from something. It might be from Be Mine, but it looked like little banners, and I thought it worked great. And I only had one strip of it. So it's cut like behind the pictures, just pieced enough so that it gives the illusion that it goes all the way across the page, but it didn't. And I even have a little bit extra to go up here. So Cinderella Castle. I always want to say Cinderella's Castle, but my daughter, who knows even more about Disney than I do, assures me it is called Cinderella Castle. This one I love. This is using the roller coaster punch from a couple of summers ago, plus the Let the Good Times Roll sticker from Sparks of Magic. And then I used the 12-inch decorative trimmer, and I just think that is a really fun border. There's actually 2 layers of the roller coaster. There's like a pink pattern, a red and pink pattern behind, and I think that just makes it really pop. And what a fun thing. And this was his first time to ride a roller coaster, and he loved it. All right, then Dumbo. If you looked at the 8x8 album, I did this almost exact same layout in the 8x8 album. It translated very well to the 12x12, allowed me to get a whole bunch of pictures on this layout, plus use this fun polka dot paper that I really love. So Gaston's Tavern is there, and they have the biggest cinnamon rolls I've ever seen. They're like bigger than a Cinnabon. We could not eat it. It was way too much, but we had fun trying. So this is the Dine Border Punch. And I think this paper is from, I don't remember what paper it's from now. It might be from Homestead, not Homestead, Staycation. I don't know. Current CM paper though. This one is retired CM paper. It is my beloved Mermaid Cove, which I have hoarded and saved for my Disney layouts. And I had some of the embellishments and then the seashell border punch. Diamond Arches is a current punch. So is the Dine. And the seashells. I don't know if the seashells is. It might be. So Under the Sea, here we go with Ariel. More of those embellishments from, and the paper from Mermaid Cove. Wish they'd bring that one back. You know, sometimes they bring flashbacks back. And then this is the white shimmer paper. Can't really tell that it's shimmer, but I can tell. So this is a layout. I got the original idea for this layout design from Becky Belote from her YouTube channel, where you create one page of stripes and cut it and turn it sideways. I think it turned out great. Actually used this in a layout class that I taught, and this layout was so pre-made and I was able to just put my pictures on it. And I talked about COVID and that we all had to wear masks. The kids were great about wearing masks. I was really proud of them. But it was so not crowded in September of 2020. I missed that thought, you know, to go to Disney and not have people like within 6 feet of you. So here's Small World. This paper was from Daydreamer. I always take pictures in Small World, and I'm beginning to think that I need to stop, because really in my scrapbooks I want pictures of people, but I can't help myself because it's so pretty and colorful. And with this one I used a peekaboo pocket. I like to put my peekaboo pockets on the outside or the inside edge so that the peekaboo pocket is stuck to the actual scrapbook page, and then I put my wallpaper background over the top. So when I put my page protector on, I'll just fold this out, slide the page protector on, and then close this over the top so you can still flip it open. And you can see that this is a digital photo, 4 by 5.3, and the peekaboo pockets are 4 by 6, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, you know, because this is the same size, it doesn't matter that this picture is a little shorter than the peekaboo pocket. Of course, the gap is going to be above rather than below, but there's a little peekaboo pocket for our Small World ride. Peter Pan. This is another layout that I copied very much from the 8x8 that I did for them last fall. I can't remember when I did it. My daughter that lives near them was out here and I wanted to send it back with her. So I, tried to copy some of those layouts, but some of them I had forgotten. But it's just that, is this Sparks of Magic paper? I think this might be the Sparks of Magic paper cut in half and then the border sticker. And I think the stars go great with the whole Peter Pan theme. And my pictures inside Peter Pan never turn out, and yet I still keep taking them. So I've never done a scrapbook layout about clouds before, but we were so thankful that it was a cloudy day. The clouds kind of went away later in the afternoon and I missed them. Love that they just gave us shade wherever we were in the park. So here's the kids pulling the sword out of the stone. And these are just little circles that I cut in half and made a little swoopy border and a banner. I love to do a banner like this as a title. This is from the Playland theme pack, I think. I think this is from Imagine That. Definitely mix and match these paper packs for some of these. I'm using up the last bits I have. So this one with the carousel. This is with Botanical Burst. I love Botanical Burst for Disney. I didn't expect to. When I first saw it, I was like, oh yay, flower paper. Did not think that I would want it for Disney, but it's mostly not flower. It's got all these fun, bold designs and these bright colors that just work great for Disney. And this is probably based on a sketch that I saw online somewhere, because I feel like somebody else inspired me, but I don't remember where the idea came from. So this is more with Out of This World. This is from another layout class that I had taught at one of my retreats. And so this was a pre-designed layout that I had already made, and I was able to just put my pictures on. So you can see, like right here, I had a horizontal mat, but I put a vertical picture because that's what I had. But I had Place to Journal, and this Let's Fly Away is perfect for Buzz Lightyear. We have scrapbook Buzz Lightyear pictures so many times that I don't want to always title my page Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, because that gets really boring to me. So I loved having something a little bit different. This is one of the pre-designed mats from Out of This World, and so is the little galaxy paper. And then here, Galactic Heroes. This is another layout from that class. Works great. Out of This World is such a good paper pack for Disney / Tomorrowland. Works really well. And I was excited to be able to use it. So we had fun with the pressed pennies. This one I had kind of a sequence of photos that I wanted to fit. And so I felt like the banners, the two different banners of the two different sequences worked really well. This is the Imagine That paper, which was the one year that they had a theme pack collection that was a theme park collection that was not exactly the colors of this particular theme park. CM does not have licensing to do anything for a specific brand of theme park. So they're trying to make stuff that's versatile, that can work for a lot of things, but man, it sure works nice for this particular theme park. I'm pretty proud of this one, although looking at it right now, I think I might need to go around the letters with a black pen so that they'll pop a little bit. But I was able to create this paddle boat, and this paddle wheel, I think it turned out really cool. I just used the circle maker and cut the two kind of concentric circles and put my little angled edge cross beams, I guess. I looked at the picture of what the paddle looked like on the actual Liberty Bell and put that on here. Haunted Mansion, this is with the Full Moon Fun paper that came out at Halloween. The ghost chain came out at Halloween, was here, and it was gone. But it's so fun. It has a little haunted house, and then I just punched multiples of this. This is a technique I'm really liking with some of these chain border makers, because you can just pop the punch. You can enjoy the cuteness of the borders, and you can see that I kind of stagger them. I don't stack them, even though the punch has the same 3 ghosts. I don't stack them all the same. I stagger it, and I think it makes it so it doesn't quite look so exactly the same. And here I even flipped it, so I had a front and a back, so they're kind of facing in opposite directions, and just to give that some interest. These pictures are actually one of my favorite parts of the trip, and it's when the two little boys fell asleep in the stroller. We weren't sure that the kids would last the whole day at Disney, but they fell asleep in the stroller. We bought them these cute little Mickey Mouse clip-on fans, and then we parked under the Liberty Tree, which is right across from the Hall of Presents, and I journaled about this. And as I was sitting here on the bench with them while their parents took them off to the Liberty Bell and Haunted Mansion, every now and again the door of the Hall of Presidents, would open to let people in, and this waft of cold air-conditioned air would blow across the street and blow on me. And I was sitting in the shade with these beautiful sleeping babies, and it was probably my favorite part of the day at Disney, of a great day at Disney, just to get to sit there and watch the people walk by. So that was fun. My daughter helped me come out with this title, because those are kind of Disney, Sleepy Hollow, Liberty Square. So while I was sitting there, we got to see some of the cavalcades. Right now, because of COVID, or at this point, they were not doing any of the parades, but they basically had these little mini parades that would go through randomly at intervals throughout the day. And so I just got to sit there, and the parade came to me, and I was in the shade, and this little bird, is it an egret? I don't remember what it's called, but it was coming around. It knows people will give it snacks. I didn't give it any snacks, but it was very tame and just kept wandering around there. And I guess it wanted to be in the shade too. So we had the Halloween cavalcade with some of the villains and Minnie and Mickey in their Halloween costumes. And then there was a princess cavalcade. And if you've seen the parades at Disney, they do use this float for the parade. So basically these cavalcades were little snippets of the parade that they broke through and just sent at random times so people wouldn't feel the need to congregate for one parade. This is one of the few layouts I've done that doesn't have its own title, because I didn't know what to write as a title. This was based on a sketch from the CM blog, and I absolutely love it. I mixed and matched some papers. I think this was from Summertime. I think this one was from Vitamin C. But I don't know. This page makes me happy. Of course, it's me and my Prince Charming, so where better for us to be than in front of the castle. And then Cosmic Rays. This layout is absolutely and completely scrap lifted from a layout that my friend Noreen Smith did, probably for Creative Scrapbooker magazine, with the circles. And it was so darling. And I love the Out of This World collection so much that I was super excited to use it again. And of course, when you're in Tomorrowland, what better time to use Out of This World paper? So our day was coming to a close. We went over to Adventureland, took some pictures in front of the pirate flag, and then went on the ride. And one of the things I've learned going to Disney is that if you want the picture to go in your scrapbook and you're sitting in the very back, they can barely see you in the picture. So I'm not even shy anymore. I'll say, hey, can we sit in the front? Because I really want my picture to turn out well. And they kind of roll their eyes at me, but they almost always let us sit in the front when it's not too busy. So that's how I got us right here in the picture, and these people who hopefully aren't scrapbookers are okay back there in the back. But this is actually Joy to the World paper, which is our Christmas collection. I think it works so well for this, for these pictures, this pirate stuff, this gold stripe, the green plaid, the navy. I just think this Joy to the World paper was a fine choice for pirates. Then we, of course, had to get some Dole Whip. You can't go to Disney and not get Dole Whip, right? So we took the kids to get Dole Whip. This is, I think, from Summertime, the Summertime paper pack. It's retired now, sadly, but it was a fun, bright colored paper pack. And then I used the pineapple punch, and I believe in one of my videos I showed you how I punched it twice. So I punched the pineapple once in green and once in yellow, and then I cut off the leaves and take this piece and flip it over so that the little spaces don't align, and then the green shows through. And I think it just looks really cute. And I'm really kind of liking this banner thing. You saw I used it back with the pressed pennies, but it works really nicely when you have a whole bunch of horizontal photos you want to put together in a row. So the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, I did journal that this was, oh, maybe I didn't journal. This was our last ride. But this was our last ride. But what I did journal about is my husband, who knows that my goal at Disney is to take pictures. And so when everybody else is up here, taking their carpets as high as they can, he always comes down to the bottom. I got to lift it up and show you. He always drives his little carpet down so that I can get a good picture of him until I wave at him and tell him it's safe to go up there, and I've gotten some pictures. But I just think that's a very sweet thing that a husband of a scrapbooker will do. And of course, then the people who take photos on the ride too and share those with me. So in the ground right there at by the Aladdin ride, there are little plastic gems, and Cassie had fun looking for those. And I had fun using the emerald gemstone paper and embellishments for that because I thought it worked really well. And then I did the pink title because it matched her shirt. It doesn't really match the rest of it, but I liked it with that. So then it's fall, y'all. They had their Halloween decorations up. It was only September, so it wasn't really Halloween time, but we had this fun picture where they Tinkerbell magically puts in a flaming pumpkin head that wasn't in the picture as we took it. They just told us to put our hands out. And this is, this might be the fall y'all paper, actually. One of our fall collection papers, and we had just had gotten this leaf punch, but I punched a circle with the sunflower border, and then I was just going to do this the circle, punching around a circle, but it was just a little bit too plain for me. You can tell that I like to, especially on Disney, kind of go a little nuts with my layout. So I added in all these leaves, and then this is just the little inside extra from the spring leaf punch, and I think it just made it a really fun autumny page. I got this cute picture of them as we were waiting to leave the park. You know, we had 2 double strollers and everybody was really tired. Thankfully, you know, I mean, not thankfully, I guess, but the park closed really early during COVID, like 6 o'clock. So we were able to basically be there the whole day because the boys had napped. It was a perfect day. We had so much fun. This is them waiting for us. Well, I don't know what I was doing, buying popcorn or shopping, one of those things. And this is the, I think this is the open road theme pack that has kind of these fun little arrows. And I loved the way the colors work together. And then our last Disney page with the Sparks of Magic that has this laser matte pack. And I just cut a piece of white paper to go inside it and some of the embellishments. And then the pictures of us in front of the train station. This paper behind is actually a printed paper that has these stripes already on it. So just by putting half and this, the polka dots on the bottom. I don't think I would want to use the striped paper completely by itself as a background, but because I had this huge mat, and you know, I really was trying to make one day's worth of photos fit in a 12 by 12 album. So that's my excuse when you do see several of these layouts that have one photo on them. I don't often do that, but you know what? That's one of the reasons why I love being a Creative Memories advisor, because I basically live in a scrapbook store. And if I want to do one album for one day, I can. I promise not to do one album for every day, but a fun trip like this, I think it deserved its own. And then the very last page was after we got home, again, using bits and pieces from Sparks of Magic and or Magic Awaits or Imagine, and just some of these little embellishments. And this is the car ride home. He's holding a really sticky Mickey lollipop, and then she has her little mouse ears. So there you go. That's my album for our Magical Disney Day 2020. Just barely put the spine in, so it hasn't gotten a chance to be saved to the spot it's going to be. This was the Hello Autumn album cover from 2020. And I was so glad to have an excuse to use it and to use it for a Disney trip. So I hope you've enjoyed flipping through this album with me, whether or not you were a Disney fan. I hope that you got some ideas that you can use in your own albums. And if there's any kind of technique or something that I talked about in this album that you would like me to do an individual tutorial on, I'm happy to do that. A couple of them I've already done tutorials on. The punching around a circle for sure. If you search on my channel, you can find that. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you watching, and happy scrapbooking.